Parents, welcome to this tutorial. My name is Mrs. Labonte, and I'm going to teach you what type of writing your child will be doing for the next 6 weeks and how you can best support them at home. Your child just finished a 6-week unit on writing stories. And now we're moving into how to write informational books. Another way to say that is you're writing to teach somebody something. And so, as the type of writing has changed, the process that a writer goes through never changes. So, let's look at this chart. Every writer has to start with thinking, what do I want to write about? So, they're going to be thinking about things that they know a lot about because this is not a research paper. This is what do I know a lot about and how can I write it in a way that I could teach somebody about it? And then a writer always plans by thinking. They can either think out on their hand or on paper. How is this going to go? What's it going to look like? What's it going to sound like? And then they might do a quick sketch. They might do a picture or some words to remind them what they want to go on that page. And then, of course, they're going to write as much as they can. So, how can you support them? What are some ways that if I'm at home with my child, I can support them in this process? Well, one of the things is make sure that you're not telling your child what to write about because they need to know a lot to be able to fill a page. And if they don't know a lot about something, then the page will never get filled. So let them find the idea that's sparking joy in, in what they want to write about. The planning of what they're going to write can always be simply done on their hand. Like, what is the topic that you want to write about? And then how might you introduce that? But then they're always thinking parts, the parts or subtopics. Because one of the things that you'll notice is kids know a lot about a lot of things, and they'll just start writing everything they know in an unorganized way. And planning and really thinking in parts or subtopics can help them with not writing a lot about a lot of things on just one page. You can also use paper to help them. So their teacher will provide them with paper. And you're going to see that there's different types of paper because the writer is in control of how they want it to look on the page. So they might want no pictures at all. And they just want to do some straight writing. Maybe they might want a little box where they can put a map or some type of text feature that could help the reader even understand more than just the words. They might also want to write a piece that does that teaches in steps. So they want a piece of paper that looks like this. It's their choice because they, in their mind, know what they want that page to look like. And this can help set them up before they start to do some writing. One of the things that really helps writers is if they have a mentor text. Now, I'm going to say that this might be the magic piece that could help you support your child. Because one of the things that I know as a parent is sometimes the child thinks that you're criticizing their writing. And you know what? If we want our kids to stop writing, the very thing that we do is we tell them what to do. So, one way to take the focus on you're right and I'm wrong is to use books, teaching books around your house. It doesn't have to be about the topic that they're writing about because it's just something that you can go to and say, well, let's see how this author did it. Right? So these are mentor texts that can help your child see how does an informational writer write? What are some things that they do in their books to help the reader understand what it is they're teaching them? Use these. Take the focus off from you and put the focus on what do these types of writers do? It can really help. Another thing is when you start using those mentor texts, you might even see your child is like copying those great authors. So allow them that freedom. When they start to write, you want to make sure that you are stepping out of the way. You can help them plan and they can talk it through with you. But when they are actually starting to write, you want to make sure that you step out of the way so that they can be creative in their thinking. If I have somebody standing over me, hovering and watching and breathing and looking for almost like for me to make a mistake, it makes me nervous. So, as a parent, I would make sure that they're set up to write, and then I would go away and do something. And then I would come back in like 10 minutes and say, do you want to read what you've written so far? And if they don't, that's okay. That is okay. But you can just glance over and see, have they even written? Because it's not so much that it has to be perfect. Because if we're looking for perfection, your child will stop writing. No writer is perfect, which brings me to neatness. Sometimes I hear parents say, "Oh, my child is not a good writer," and I'm like, "Wait, they're brilliant." But what the parent is thinking is because of the way it looks, the piece isn't good. So I'm here to say that when your child is writing up a storm, yes, we want them to be spelling correctly. We want them to be putting in punctuation and thinking about, does that even make sense? But we also don't want them to get so hung up on every word having to be spelled correctly and said correctly, because that stops the flow of writing. So, is there a time to do this? Absolutely, but not during their creating stage. So, maybe if they've written a page, right, and they're all done, maybe the next time you say, let's take that page out and look. Are there some words that don't look right to you? Let's circle and practice them over here. Or maybe you see a word that your child keeps getting wrong and wrong and wrong. Maybe you might want to make a flashcard and say, let's learn this word because I know you want to use it. So, yes, neatness matters. But when I am creating, when I am a writer in the flow of writing, if somebody starts to nitpick about my neatness, my spelling, my punctuation, and grammar, I'm going to stop writing. And that's the very thing that we don't want kids to do. Well, caregivers, you've just heard what your children will be doing for the next 6 weeks. They will be learning every day how to be the best informational writer they can possibly be. And one way that you can support them at home is just to talk to them about their writing, to have them think with you, to have them plan with you, to have them read what they've written to you. Be a partner, be somebody who's supportive and looking for the greatness in their writing. I wish you luck and I hope that you learn so much from your writer at home.